I'm Daniela Borum, Special Projects and Partnerships in the Office of Councilman Tate. I'm not normally here sitting in this seat, but I'm taking over for Aaron Hall. Thank you so much, Tom. And so just to introduce our team, we have Aisha Mitchell. Give it up, give it up! We need some energy this morning. Aisha is our communications manager. And then we have Mr. Reggie Alexander in the back. Reggie, give it up! All right. So I welcomed you guys already here to Councilman Tate's Satellite Hours. So I should say at the top of the meeting, Councilman will not be here today. We are working on budgets, so it's going to be a very busy month, so I know he's really sorry that he's not here this morning. But if you want to give a wave to Facebook, you can wave. I'm sure Councilman will watch this later. So I still want to thank you all for coming today. So the first rule of our satellite hours, there are no rules. So this is just your opportunity to be able to come and talk together and talk through solutions or talk through issues and find solutions. Sometimes we are able to provide those solutions, and other times you all are able to help each other with solutions, things that your neighbors have dealt with, and they give you great ideas on how to get it done for yourself. So I guess we want to start by introducing everyone. We'll start right here to my left.
Good morning, everyone. I'm George Etheridge. I am the Neighborhood Association President for the Castle Rouge community, which is at 96 and Telegraph.
Good morning, I'm Kathy Horde. I live on Gilchrist and Prairie St. Mary's.
Good morning, my name is Harrison Shelby.
Hi, Corinda Webb, Grandma.
Rosedale. Sorry about that.
Corinda Webb, Grandma, Rosedale Community, North Rosedale Park.
Good morning. My name is Annette Flowers, and I'm with Fenmore Summit Block Club. That's on Fenmore between Puritan and Florence.
Okay.
I'm Paulette Washington. I'm with O'Hare Park, 8 Mile and 7 Mile, and Evergreen and Southfield.
Okay, good morning. Let's make sure too you're holding the mics right in front of your face.
Yeah, we need you to hold the mics up because we're broadcasting on Facebook. Just make sure you hold the mics up.
I'm James Liddell. I represent Grandma 4, Citizens Radio Patrol.
My name is Albert Smith. I'm a representative of Hayden Block Club.
Hi, my name is Chantel White. I'm actually a graduate senior at Michigan State University. We are Michigan State University scholars, and we're interning at the Dietrich office. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Brooklyn Rue, St. Clair.
Wait, what was your name?
Brooklyn Rue.
Oh, okay.
My name is Deandra White. I also reside in Greenmont, Rosedale.
Hi everyone, my name is Audrey Vaughn. I'm also a Michigan State scholar. Happy to be here.
Are all of you right here Michigan State scholars? Yeah. Oh, okay, cool.
Hi everybody, my name is Jose Rivera. I'm the coordinator for the Community Engagement Scholar Program at Michigan State. We all are happy to be here with you all today.
Hello, my name is Barbara Poindexter. I'm with the St. Mary's Schoolcraft Kendall Block Club.
Hi, my name is Dawn Wilson Clark. I am a proud resident of Brightmoor and work with the Brightmoor Education Action Team.
Women Weathersby Florida Community Block Club Association.
I'm her husband.
People posting the window sills.
Hi, I'm Doug Russell from Detroit Blackworks.
have no association. I just happen to be here. Letitia Jewell, though, and I live Evergreen, Plymouth, Burt Road.
Oh, that's my neighborhood. That's actually District 7, but that's all right. It's only a couple blocks short of D1.
I don't like talking to people back. How you doing, everybody?
Good morning.
My name is Paul Johnson Jr. I'm a playwright from Detroit, Michigan, from the West Side, right in this area. I've written over 20 plays in this area, including Madam C.J. Walker, The Fall of Black Wall Street, 1921, Riots, and also a musician. I do Donny Hathaway impersonations and tributes as well. And this is a person of the community. I love the Java House. I love this community. I'm a barber as well. So, man of many talents. Detroit born, bred, talented black man. So.
Alright, welcome. Did any of our officers want to say good morning?
Morning, Officer Livingston, number 6.
Aisha's got the
I usually
mic.
can scream. Officer Livingston, number 6. Neighborhood police officer, hello.
Good morning.
I'm Officer Eshuna from number 6 also. Not actually District 7, but I'm filling in for the District 1 officer in the 6th precinct.
Okay, District 7 is in the house. That's all right. Our meetings are always open to everyone. We have a lot of information that I'm sure if you're a Detroit resident, is just beneficial to everyone, period. So is anybody here for the first time? Can you just raise your hands? First timers. Are you all first timers? In the window? Can y'all hear me? Is it your first time? Your first time? Okay, good. So welcome coming to our meetings. A couple things I do want to tell you about, and please bear with me. I'm sorry. I am getting over my sinuses issue. Which yesterday somebody was like, that's what everybody with sinuses says. I think it's a cold. I was like, it's not. I promise. But anyway, so we want to make sure everybody knows about our D1 monthly meeting for March. It's coming up on March 23rd, Saturday, March 23rd. It will be at Corpus Christi Catholic Church, 19800 Pembroke, right on Evergreen and Pembroke. Everybody knows where that is? Or familiar with it? Reggie, did you want to talk a little bit about what we're having at the meeting? I'm sorry, because we're short a person, we are all doing double duty.
So our District 1 monthly meeting is an event we hold every fourth Saturday of the month, various locations around the district. It's an attempt to make everybody aware of all of the different places that are located in District 1. This one's going to be at Corpus Christi Catholic Church, and we're going to have representatives there to talk about the 2020 census. As we know, it's coming up very soon, and how many people are aware of how important the census is? Okay, so it reflects on the number of representatives that we'll have in government. It also reflects on the dollars that people get for things like roads and bridges. So if we're off by 20, 30,000 people or more, that can greatly affect the dollars that we'll have to circulate around the community. So it's very important. I'm going to have representatives from the city as well as the state to talk about the census. We're also going to have, give me a second, we're also going to have two of our regular spotlights, which is our business spotlight. And our business spotlight is on a business right across the street over here, Old Redford Kitchen and Cafe. We do a spotlight every month on a different business. It's part of our Discover D1 initiative to expose people to businesses that are within District 1, make sure they're aware of the businesses that are here. Sometimes, dollars don't get spent in the areas where people live because they're not aware of what's there. I mean, businesses become like what I call wallpaper. They're in the background. You pass them every day in a car. And I'm from New York, so I'm used to walking. So, you find out a lot of things when you walk around, but a lot of times you're driving, you don't notice what's right in your own community. So, Councilman thought it was important to have an initiative that drew attention to businesses, much like the fact that we have our meetings here every first and third Friday. It gives us the opportunity to sow some seeds into this business and also the opportunity to expose people to a business they may have not been aware of. How many people have come here for the first time today? Just a few, but that's a good thing. So hopefully you have a good experience and it makes you want to come back. So the business is going to be Old Redford Kitchen and Cafe.
Reggie, what's the website for our Discover D1?
DiscoverD1.com. So if you go to DiscoverD1.com, we have a list of over 700 businesses in the district. It has links to their websites and photos of the businesses, so it's a great way to find out what's actually in your district. We're also going to have our youth spotlight. Every month we have a youth that we pick who is done something of note, whether it's artistic, academic, or athletic, and this gives us a chance to love on them and expose them to a greater audience. This month it's a Girl Scout troop that's right here in the district, and yes, there will be cookies there also. So
that's a cookie.
So it's a great opportunity to find out. It's a great opportunity to find out the work that they're doing. A lot of people just hear Girl Scouts, and of course, it's the first thing we think is cookies, but there's a lot more to it than that. So we want to expose people to all the great things they're doing. Additionally, we're going to talk about development. We have about 5 development projects that are about to go down in District 1, and we're talking millions and millions of dollars involved. That's including Holcomb and what's the other school?
Holt, which is the MSU Extension.
Yes, MSU Extension. There's a development going on there, as well as some development going on around Rogel Golf Course and a few other sites within District 1. So there's 5 projects that's going on. So planning and development is going to be there to talk about the work that's going to be going on there. And a few other things we're going to have at the meeting. So hopefully you guys can make it. That is next Saturday, March 23rd.
Yes, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
Okay. Thanks, Reggie. Did he just walk up? He did. I'm sorry, I just drew up a super blank. What did you say? Oh, yeah, is Kevin Kev in the house? We'll get him up to talk about Java and jazz tonight. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna move forward and talk with We're gonna talk with Don about 482 Forward and what the B team, the Brightmoor Education Action Team. Oh, look at me! I'm learning what they're doing in our district is around the topics of trauma and education. So I'll let Don come up and talk to you a little bit about that, and then we'll be back. So let's give a big shout for Don. Good morning, Don.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am well.
Good.
So, just a little bit about me. My name is Dawn Wilson Clark. I was born and raised in Detroit and Pontiac. I graduated from Redford High School.
Husky.
So glad it has graduated to Myers. I am a proud. So after I graduated from high school, I enlisted to the United States Army. After serving 2 years, I came home, started a business, Cuddles the Clown. My mama said I was clowning all my life, so I might as well make some money. And so I've been doing that for almost 3 decades. I moved to Brightmoor in 2000 I was a wife and a mother of 2. I'm still a proud resident of Brightmoor. Still a wife, but a wonderful husband over there. And I have 7 children.
Oh, wow. Amen.
5 came through me, 2 came to me.
Amen for that.
And I'm currently working marching to Lansing about 5 years ago. Did you all see that? Well, you did. Okay, so that is who we are. We are a citywide education organizing network. We are a network of community organizations, parents, have access to quality education. So we have action teams throughout the city that work on different issues. I lead action team. And the fact team, our research committee, finding answers and creating truth. So how we work is we run campaigns. We listen to the community in the fall to find out what the biggest barrier to education is. We limit that and then we start doing research on that issue. Then we take action, and then we celebrate. We were looking at chronic absenteeism, and so we partnered with Attendance Works, and as a result, we had a program in our pilot schools, and we increased attendance for 10%. Give it up for that, y'all. All over the city now. So our new campaign is, in our listening over the fall, we heard from about 150 people, and they said that trauma was our biggest barrier to education. So in our research, we found Mary Mueller. Mary Mueller is a trauma expert who works for the state of Michigan. She lives up the street and around the corner.
She's a D1 resident.
D1 resident, excuse me. And she agreed to work with us and the schools to learn about trauma. So we got commitments from the 4 schools in Brightmoor to attend what we call TLC gatherings, trauma learning circles. And so we're learning together about trauma and how to address it and you know, what it looks like. And so we have 2 more meetings left. In May, we're going to host an event called The Best of Brightmoor, where we're honoring our students, our teachers, and we'll present the plan as a unit to the community. And I'll answer questions in just 1 second, but welcome. And so, my notes are upside down. So yeah, we're create a plan to deal with this. Also, on Saturday, the meeting that Reggie just talked about, something that we looked at initially, which Mary introduced us to, which is the ACEs, and it stands for Adverse Childhood Experiences. And so we're going to take a deeper look into that on next Saturday. But like I said, I work with the network, right? So it's not just us over here in Brightmoor. We're doing a lot of things everywhere. And we know that trauma is not just, you know, something that we can tackle. We need resources. And so we are also, the network committee, 482 Forward, we're running a campaign called Babies Over Billionaires. That is this flyer. Oops, upside down. And we're hosting an event with a panel. It's a town hall on Monday, March 25th. It's going to be at King High School. We have Professor David Arson from MSU. Y'all know him? Oh. Also, our very own state rep, Sherry Gay Degnago, Terrence Martin from DFT, and then we'll have a student. So please come out and learn about our funding campaign. Also, an event called Do You Know Who's Securing Our Schools? Do you all know that we have a specific police department dedicated to Detroit Public Schools? Yes. Do you all know that not every state has that? Yeah. We're one of a few.
So is that throughout the state of Michigan or just
Detroit Public Schools?
Oh, just Detroit Public Schools.
And you will be surprised how much money they're spending on that. And so come and learn with us. I encourage everyone who can attend, because it's injustice what's happening to our education system. You know, when I moved to Brightmoor, we had 9 public schools. Now we have 1. And nobody knocked on my door and said, should we open the school here? Should we close the school there? Nobody did that. A few years ago, I was driving, mostly him, 127 miles a week in search of quality education. And so our motto with 482 Forward is, nothing about us without us. And so I encourage each and every one of you all to join us in our fight. You have the BEAT calendar with you. Our next meeting, it says it's going to be the 26th. The location has changed. It's going to be at Leland. Leland is right on Finkel and Lamphere. It's not going to be at City Covenant, and it will be from 5:30 to 7:30. But everything else on there stays the same.
Dawn, is that next meeting, is that a trauma learning cycle meeting?
So actually, it's going to be a combination of both, because we had our 3rd trauma learning circle on last Tuesday. But because so many amazing things are happening in our community, we had so many meetings. We did not have a good attendance, so Mary agreed to do the entire event at our regularly scheduled BEAT meeting.
Okay, good. I missed that meeting as well, so, and Councilman did too, so I know we'll be really excited to attend that one.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Yes, sir.
Okay, Reference Library got all the books. Reference Library got all the books available for everybody. And Reference Library will be open tomorrow, Saturday, from 10 to 6. And also, some people don't know, starting this summer, they will be open on Sundays from 1 to 5.
Awesome, thank you. Does anybody have a question for Dawn right now, specifically about 482 Forward or the work that they're doing?
I had the opportunity of participating in one of the BEAT team meetings as it relates to trauma, and there was a survey that you were circulating that you were trying to get, I believe, at least 200 responses to.
Yes.
I was able to distribute 20. I brought that 2 back. So, is there an opportunity for those that are here today to participate in that survey, or those that might be watching on Facebook?
Thank you so much, George. I can't believe I forgot about the survey. So, yes, there is an opportunity. We do have surveys here.
We do have the surveys. We pass them out now.
And we're going to pass them out now. And you know what, George? That's something. You're not the only one who said that. I presented at grandparents hearing again, and some of the people in the room can't read. I know.
So is that a reason why you may not be getting a lot of the surveys back?
Maybe. And so I noticed it, and what I did was we read each question out loud and gave them the opportunity to fill it in right then.
I was going to say, we might have time to do that. You know what? I thought George actually was going to come to show us up and say he got all his pledged surveys.
One of the encumbrances that I've come across with those that have been asked to fill out the survey, they say, I don't know anything about trauma, so I didn't feel comfortable or knowledgeable enough to fill out the survey. What type of responses or respondents are you looking for?
That's good. So, trauma is anything that affects you negatively. So, it could be anything.
It could be physical or mental.
Yep. Emotional.
Could you repeat that? What did she say it could be?
It could be physical or mental. Or spiritual. We experience trauma. We can experience trauma every day. I was riding yesterday, and the police came and were zooming. Immediately, I just got shook. I mean, I got my license, I got my insurance, and all of that, but, you know, that created, for me, and so, yes.
We've got some pens coming around for anybody that needs a pen. I got some clipboards too.
And one of the things we're just looking for is what are they seeing in the community. You have to start. Did you pass them out? Okay.
Last question.
Okay.
Is this survey specific to those that reside in Brightmoor, whether that is the Brightmoor Education Action Team that's submitting the survey, or are you looking for just a wide sampling of respondents?
We're really looking for Brightmoor residents, and because we're creating a plan to address the trauma in our community.
So how long are you collecting the surveys for?
April 9th is the deadline for the surveys. We currently have 100. We're looking for 200 or more because all of the data matters.
So the more responses you receive, the better. So then once you collect the data, this is all a part of the plan for the BEAT team in May to come back together and decide, like, okay, so this is what the community is asking for, this is what they want to see happen, or this is where we kind of have a gap to fill. Is that
That's exactly right.
Okay. So it's very important for everyone then to participate and complete the survey. I think what you said is very true. A lot of us don't even realize that maybe we have had an experience with trauma and feel like we don't have anything to contribute to it, but that's definitely not true. I think, like you gave the example of driving and seeing the police officer, but we all have had different experiences that have kind of traumatized us, for lack of a better term. But we have a lot to contribute, and I think that the work that they're doing in terms of connecting with educators. So when we say educators, who are we looking for? Because it's just not teachers, correct?
No, it's leaders in the schools, the counselors, you know, those that are running the programs with the schools. So yeah.
So that's everybody that's in the school. So think about that. Like you have your teacher, your principal, your dean. They have a lot of different titles for assistant principals now. Your coaches, your counselors, anybody that comes into contact with kids. And so the goal is to train them in trauma engagement.
Yes, and we also have community leaders, so people that are working with children throughout the summer, through after school programs, they're working with us too, learning with us.
Okay, good. Did I see a question?
I was just wondering if it's available online, the survey, and if so, where people can find it so that they can help distribute it.
It is available online. Danielle, did you sign in? No. Did you sign in?
Did you sign in at the table or on our sign-in sheets? Okay, so we'll get your information to sign in. So I'll make a quick, sign-in announcement. So for anyone that has not signed in, please sign in at the sign-in table. That is just so that you can stay connected with our office. We let you know about our satellite hours and our monthly meetings. We don't share that information with anyone. So that's a really great example of signing in, giving us your contact info, and we can definitely send that out.
Yes, and I'll make sure that it's added to our Facebook page. So we have a Facebook page, Brightmoor Education Action Team.
Any other questions?
Yes, over the last decade or so, we all know that Detroit Public Schools has suffered a great deal financially and otherwise. Do you feel that the new Gumpers has adequately replaced the old Harding Gumpers and those other schools that the new Gumpers were supposed to replace? Do you feel as though it did an adequate job of covering that area?
I think they're doing the best that they can with the resources that they have. And so, like I said, all of those schools closed when I moved here within 10 years. And so And then Murphy, Murphy was right there, and they just closed. Last year. Yeah, so we're not, Michigan is doing a bad job overall, and so that's why we're working on Babies Over Millionaires, because it takes money to do this. Yes, ma'am. And the community, definitely.
When I came in, I'm sorry, you were talking about this, the trauma. Are you looking for educators to do this survey, or are you looking for the neighborhood?
Educators too, yes. We have teachers, we presented to the schools in Brightmoor, we have some of the teachers filled out the surveys as well.
But you're asking us as the residents to give our take on what we think trauma is?
Yes, and educators too. Yes.
And educators.
Yes.
All right. So, like you said, you want to engage in trauma in the schools. So when that do happen, what are you expecting? Like, what are your outcome? What are your expected outcome? And then two, even though children face trauma, will educators or leaders get the same engagement as well? Because they do face trauma teaching, overcrowded places, and it's a lot. It's like 7 different jobs in one. So how can we work together?
So that's good. So right now we're learning, and so our last session we learned about post-secondary trauma and how the teachers are being affected, and everybody in the building, they're receiving the trauma that the children are going through. And so we're learning, and once we learn, we're looking at different models and different strategies all over. We're gonna take some time as a group to visit some of those places, and then we're gonna present what it is that we are looking to do.
From your perspective, can you explain exactly why a study of trauma is important for youth in Brightmoor? What makes it, it's obviously an important subject, but what makes it specifically important from your experience for the children that you deal with in Brightmoor?
So so our children, according to the state, are failing, right? So their grades are not up to par. Our children are coming to school with issues, and they can't think about taking a test if some drama's going on at home. So it's important for us to deal with the main thing, and to me that's the main thing. If a child is if a family, a community is experiencing abuse and neglect and not feeling wanted or loved, or does not have a support system, then they can't function properly, and they have to take care of us one day, y'all. So this is something that we really need to address. Did that answer your question, Reggie? Okay.
I like what you said. They have to take care of us, but they also have to take our places as well. So we'll need them as teachers, as officers, as councilmen, as staffers, as community leaders, correct? I thought I saw a question in the back.
And teachers are leaving this profession at an alarming rate.
Thank you. I know this is a very significant topic, and one of the questions that I have is, have you identified the types of trauma that may be at issue, and whether there is actual communication with the children who are experiencing the trauma with the teachers? I think that's important if you're going to be trying to get a survey, because it's got to start at the school with the teachers and the students have got to communicate this kind of information to their teachers.
So good answer. So some of our beat team members are actually teachers at schools in our neighborhood, and they have presented the surveys to our children. What we've been hearing is a variety of things. Domestic violence. They don't feel safe. Gunshots at night. You know, it's a lot. Homelessness. Just a variety of, so that's just, we haven't analyzed all of the data yet, but just some of the things that we heard. In our initial questioning, one survey stuck out to me where a child filled out and said, I just need a room to scream in. And so we don't know what our children are going through.
So what does that mean when you say you just need a room to scream in? Because I know what that means for me, but I'm an adult. And I don't have kids, so, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have even as many pressures, I'll say, as maybe my parents did at this age. So for a child to express that, what can we assume?
So, I'm going to go a little deeper than I thought I was going to.
Okay.
I take my hand off the mic. Is that better? So, when I moved to Brightmoor, I was married to a minister. A strategy is called Handle with Care. And that is a partnership with the police department and the schools. So if I had an issue at my home the night before, with the police, they had to come out. The police would take down my children's information, go to the school and say, hey, the police were there last night. Handle them with care. They won't go into details, but that is one of the things that we're looking at. So we never know. You know, my children have attended 27 schools in their school career. 12 of those schools are closed. That's traumatic. A week before one of her schools closed, a week before the first graduating class was supposed to graduate. That's traumatic. Another one of our members attended Delta Prep. She was supposed to graduate this year. They closed, 3 weeks after school started? That's traumatic. Children were screaming in the board meeting, saying, please don't close our schools. So our children, our families, our communities are experiencing so much.
But they need support.
They need
a way to express that and to get that out. So that's what I also took away from the child, is that I don't have a way to deal with these feelings that I'm feeling every day, or no one to talk to. So that is huge, very huge. And we're not afraid to get deep here, are we? I think we're family here, right? Because this is our community, our district, and so if our neighbors are experiencing things, it affects us whether we realize it or not. And I think something else you said was key. We don't know what other people are going through, and that's so true on a daily basis. I think we've kind of trained ourselves to put on a friendly face, a strong face, a mask, that everything is fine, I'm handling all this stuff, when no, I am not. And I think a sign, we all kind of, we know each other. And so I'll just use one example in our office. I think we all know each other pretty well, but as the stress kind of comes up I'll just say on myself, I think we all kind of know okay, Dayla is about to blow. Somebody please give her a hug. Or, just having that friend to be like, yeah, you kind of been a little tense lately. You know what? I have been. So it's very important that we look out for each other. So we wanted to talk a little bit, too, about our partnership with you and our Gun Violence Prevention Initiative, D1CAN, which is District 1 Community Accountability Network. And we have really recognized that one of the major social contributing factors to gun violence is trauma. So we felt like we have to address those issues contributing to it in order to see a reduction in our district, in our city. So trauma is a huge piece. You mentioned Mary Mueller earlier, and we all love Mary. She is a wealth of knowledge, and she's not here today. But she's been here before, and Mary also participated on a community forum with us as well. And she's also, it's so funny, she's also connected to D-Live, the folks at D-Live too. So she's well loved and respected and really shares a lot of information around trauma. So I didn't know if you wanted to add anything in terms of how you kind of feel like trauma contributes to gun violence or what the connection is.
So yeah, you know, it affects the entire community, the family. You know, we have kids that are just being murdered because they were there, you know, so it's creating trauma throughout our communities, and we have to address it as a community.
And it's not just the kids either, because we've had a couple incidents, but I know one recently where a 3-year-old was shot as he was being driven to see Sesame Street Live. Did everybody hear about that? That was, January, February, because I know that's when Sesame Street Live is normally here. And it was not that far from us. It wasn't exactly in our district, but like I said, I'm in District 7. So that was Southfield and Plymouth, between like Plymouth and Joy Road, I think, where the incident actually occurred. But just to think, like, people are so angry and upset and not dealing with issues, especially when you have, what is it called when people are driving and road rage? Yes, thank you. There's a lot going on with road rage, and so I didn't even have to stop myself. If someone tailgated me, just go ahead and go around. I wave at people like it's okay, because honestly, at the end of the day, I want to get to where I'm going. You want to get to where you're going. We don't want to continue to have to see issues or incidents where people are losing their lives over accidentally cutting off people, maybe purposely cutting off people, but still, is it really worth that? So I think it's starting to show itself in a lot of different ways. So people not being able to deal with their issues and choosing to pick up a gun to, I guess, resolve an issue. I'm not even sure, and that's something we haven't really taken a look at. Once you have done something like that, shot at someone, picked up a gun, maybe almost used it, after, you know, maybe kind of calming yourself down, how did that make you feel afterwards? Did you feel better? Did you feel like what you were dealing with, or whatever the situation was, it's now final, done, and completed? You can move on with your day. I'm just curious. So we wanted to also just hear back from you all in terms of a lot of the things that we've been doing. I mentioned the community forum. We're actually planning another one coming up in April around pop culture and its effect on gun violence. And we're going to do a 3-part series. So some of this is kind of new. Aisha and I have been talking a lot about what we want the forums to look like this year. And so we're going to do one solely on trauma, as well as one on ownership and responsibility. So if you're a gun owner, what is your responsibility? What things do you need to know? How can you keep your gun safe at home, away from children and others? So we wanted to get some ideas though back from everyone. I didn't know if anyone had an idea of what they wanted to see. How many people have been to or heard about our gun violence prevention initiative? Okay, so we got some hands. So even, especially from those that have been, is there something you want to see, something that we haven't necessarily touched on? And it doesn't mean that, don't worry about if it's in the works, we haven't thought about it. Again, there's nothing here we can't talk about. So anybody want to give a suggestion?
I was just going to say, just based off of today's discussions, I like the direction that you're heading. I like this series that you have coming up, and then just the question that was raised. Those that have perpetrated gun crimes, what was that end result for you? And I think that would be a beneficial discussion to have, particularly here in Northwest Detroit. We have a large population of returning citizens many of whom may have been perpetrators of gun crimes. So I think that would be a valuable discussion to have.
I think that's good. And one thing you said was they don't know how to deal with it. A quick story. I was writing down, my husband and I were leaving a community meeting a few years ago, and we saw this mother and her son. She was carrying a 2-year-old, and her son was about 7. He was carrying a laundry basket. From the east side to the west side, up, down, all around. I couldn't take it, and I pulled over. I said, "What is wrong with you?" And she began to talk about how he keeps dropping these clothes, and she got to go to the laundromat because he keep playing on the floor at school, and just going. I said, "Miss, it's not his fault that you don't have a washing machine. Now, stop talking to him like that, and where do you live?" She lived down the street and around the corner from me. I took her home. She steady cussing in the car. I said, "You're going to have to stop that." She did. We got out of the car, and I said, "Let me tell you something. The black man has it hard enough. The last thing he needs is his mama talking to him like that. So I live right around the corner. If you need to cuss, fuss, anything, knock on my door. Don't talk to him like that. He did not ask to be here." She said, "Neither did I." Right. Wow is right. And so my husband, while I was having that exchange with the mom, my husband was talking to the little boy, and he hugged the little boy, and the little boy just would not let him go. Couple of months later, now I looked at that woman, and Lord bless her is what I would say, and I thought I would never see her again or hear from her again. But one day she called me out of the blue, and she said, "I took a walk, and I saw 8 empty garden beds on the corner." She said, "They told me you was the block club president. Can I plant vegetables in that garden?" I said, "You sure can." This was on a Monday. I was out of town when she called. I got back that Friday. Y'all, her children were carrying 5-gallon buckets of water from her house to water the 8 garden beds that she had planted using her own money. She said, "Oh, Miss Dawn, look," and she's just showing me everything. And she said, "And I get paid next week. I'm going to buy a garden hose so I don't have to carry these buckets." I said, "Girl, you ain't got to wait." And I gave her the money to buy a hose. I said all that to say is talk to somebody. Don't be afraid of our people. These are our people. Another story, little boy, I say little boy because I'm almost 50, but he was in his 20s, and he set up a dope house across the street from me. And I watched him for a couple of days, and then I said, "Baby, come here." I said, "How long you think I'm going to let you sell crack on my street?" And he started, I said, no. If you're not out of here in 30 days, we're having a call the police campaign on you. 20 days later, the undercover police came and shut him down.
And then you said he was 20?
20-something.
Do you know what he could set up if he used that same energy and...
Girl, let me tell you what he did set up. So while he was in jail, all the neighbors went in the house and was stealing his stuff. He got out of jail, y'all, and saw everything. Because the boy had cameras hooked up all over his house. Saw every neighbor that broke in. I said, "Smoke, you done missed your calling. You need to open up a spy shop." And so you just never know. And then his mom, she was a truck, so she had lived down the street. And then while he was in jail, she had came home and she said, I heard you called the police on my son and had him in jail. I said I did not, but I was going to, because not on my block.
Right.
So we have to say something, and we cannot be afraid. But there is a sense of wisdom we have to use, because our cousins.
That just made me touch on, I wanted to touch on something you said earlier, but when you were talking about the mom and the child and talking to the child didn't want to let go of Jonathan after he was receiving a hug. So we have also another part of our gun violence prevention initiative is our mentoring program. And I know we've come to you all before about being a mentor. And so I did I got a little good report today from Mrs. Weathersby. I don't know if she mind talking a little bit about it. But one of the schools, and I did ask you before, one of the schools that we've been working on getting our mentoring program going on in is Gompers. So I know you asked earlier about Gompers and how well you felt like they were doing in terms of replacing all the schools that have closed, and I think we really can just try to do what we can as well. And so we did see that need, that Gompers needed some support, and I think a lot of our kids need support. And so, okay, so she will say something. So I just wanted to ask Ms. Weathersby if she would talk a little bit about her experience.
I've been mentoring now about 2 weeks, and I've really enjoyed it to the point that I had been told, because I have no kids, so I've been told that they're going to drive you crazy, all the negative stuff. So I said, no, I want to see for myself. And I went, and it's been a good experience. The kids there were well mannered, the ones that I was with. And I had a good experience with one of the little fellows. He wanted to know how to spell something, and I looked at him and he says, experience. And I looked at him and I says, experience? And I said, and he looked at me and I says, he said, don't it start with an E? I said, I think so. And when it ended up, the long story short, when it ended up, he spelled it out himself instead of me. I knew it, but I let him do it himself. And it was a good experience, like I said. And the kids really warmed up to me, and I've only been there twice.
Ms. Weathersby, what game were y'all playing?
Oh,
how did that go?
We played Uno, and it was some kind of new Uno with some balance of the scales, and I was winning, and when I was winning, those kids said, oh no, you got to get her. You got to get her. And the end up, I lost, because they did get me. I had to pull a lot of cards.
That's all right. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Weathersby. Before we're going to take one more question, but I wanted to make sure that... go ahead.
Some of you other people should get into the mentoring. It is a good experience. Those that have the time, it's only 1 hour a week, and the kids really need you.
Thank you so much for that, Ms. Weathersby. I wanted to make sure that we gave a good shout. Thank you. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. A good thank you to Dawn for coming today and talking with us about trauma. So let's give it up for her today. If you have the surveys, if you want to pass it down, we'll get those that have completed them. If you want to fill it out later, you can leave it with our office. We'll also get the surveys emailed to you. So make sure you sign in, and we'll make sure that you get that electronically. So if you want to share it, you can. Oh, and Dawn's contact info is also on the flyer at the bottom. So if anybody wants to reach out to Dawn, please do. This one with the schedule, it says Beat Team Calendar at the top. Did you get that one? Dawn, you have an extra one?
Yeah, you can have that one.
You can have this one. All right.
I just wanted to say that because my kids are older, I got college age kids, but it's important that if you're a mother and you've been down that road with kids and you see another young mother or young parent coming up, it's okay to reach out to them, because you'll be surprised. Because parents need to vent, because when parents don't have somebody to vent to, then they take it out on the kids. And a lot of the kids are catching the flack because their parents don't have anybody to vent to. You would be surprised how many kids are feeling stressed out because there's no water, there's no lights, there's no gas, there's no food. Mama mad about losing a job, this, that, and the other, and it comes down to the kids. So we need to not only mentor to the children, but mentor to the parents, because there's a lot of parents who just need somebody to talk to, somebody to breathe. Hey, go out for a few minutes, not 40 days. Now go out for a few minutes, get yourself together. Your kids will be all right. We need to come back to that big mama, community, everybody pitched in. And another thing that's so important, like I was volunteering in the schools when my kids were little. The thing that kids need the most is a hug. You would be so surprised. Some kids never get hugs. They don't know. And especially with our black boys, when they get angry, I said, can I give you some love for a minute? Can I hug you? And they're like, no, I don't want no hug. I don't want no hug. They're very defensive at first about getting a hug because they've never had it. And then when you do hug them, they don't want you to let them go because it's like, wow, you're not hitting me. This is a hug? A lot of kids, especially if you start volunteering in schools or they see you, they're going to run up to you. The first thing they do is give you a hug because they're learning how to love. They're learning how to be loved. So give hugs, and if you can, reach out to other parents. Reach out to them, say, hey, what's going on? Introduce yourself, strike up a conversation, and then that creates that bridge of friendship. That's what we need. We need that big mama, village raise a child mentality to come back. But if you see a kid, hug a kid. If you see these young boys out in the street, if you just walk past and tell them to be safe out here, they're going to look at you crazy first like, huh, what you mean? Be safe out here because it's so much going on. If you let them know that, hey, I'm concerned, I just want you to be safe, that might give them a little momentum to be a little more careful. Maybe I want to get off the streets. Maybe I don't want to do this no more. But we need to start loving on each other and giving back. And it all starts with a hug and a smile and saying, hey, you okay? Because parents need it, especially if you got toddlers and preteens and teens. Take it from a mom of an 18-year-old and 16-year-old. Yeah, we don't need that.
18-year-old, okay. But I think you are right. I think Harrison had a question.
I want to just say, after listening to some of the conversation, I do think it's very important that all of us in the community have an important role to play, even though if we're not educators or mentors or whatever. And there are a lot of resources out here, especially with parents. I used to work for an organization called Brilliant Detroit, which Brightmoor just is opening a house here. I used to work at the one in Cody Rouge. And I remember one time we had these monthly community dinners. And just down the street, there were people outside. And I was wondering, and part of my job was engaging and trying to get people to come. And so I'm like, why are there people outside? They should know that we're having this community dinner and they get a chance to meet their neighbors and just fellowship. And I was walking down the street just before one was starting, and there were some children playing, and they were like, what are you passing out? And I said, we're having a community dinner. And he was like, I'm so hungry. I wish I could go. And I said, well, where's your mother? And he was like, I'm not really sure. So I said, is there an adult in the house? He said, my older sister. And I said, well, if you ask her you can come, I'll take responsibility for you, make sure you get down and you come back safely. He said, okay, can my little brothers and sisters come? He had to be all of 6 years old. He had like a 2-year-old and maybe like an arm baby. And I said, well, get them dressed and I'm going to walk you down the street. And they came, they ate, and was around loving their dogs, and just we just poured on them and loved on them. They were able to play with the kids. And then I brought them home later that night, and then I met the mother, and the mother was pregnant. And I said, we have resources for pregnant. And she was like, wow, I never knew. And I was like, it's literally 5 houses down the street from you. And she was like, I didn't know who my kids were going with. They just said somebody came and got them and took them. And I said, at first I'm just like, wow. And then
so she wasn't concerned about where they were going?
I wasn't sure. I just talked to her and I told her what we were doing in the community and how we were stepping in. And then the young man said, "Well, what are you having tomorrow?" And I said, "We're having like some art programs." He was like, "Can you come and get me?" And I said, "I will be there." So it was just like those instances, like resources need to be inside the community as well as in the school. My mom's an educator. She's been educator and administrator for 18 years, and over the years I watched her like work with families, and a lot of times they don't know where their next meal is coming from. I remember times where she called me and my dad, and we had to go to the grocery store to get families food. So, or I remember one time it was a student she didn't have a bed, and we made some phone calls and was able to get that child a bed, new sheets, pillows, and everything. And a lot of things are affecting them, like you wouldn't imagine, like bed bugs. A lot of students are experiencing that, and they're traumatized by that. Shame. Like, there are a lot of things that are happening that, you know, we have to be more cognizant of. Some of these things that students are dealing with are adult problems.
That's right.
And some of it's been brought down generationally.
That's right.
It may be different problems, but I think we need to really reconsider how we're approaching these situations and doing it in love and dignity. Sometimes people are afraid to ask for help because they don't want to be stigmatized. And some of these issues not only just pass through K-12, but they move forward. Like when I was at Henry Ford College, I helped start a food pantry. A lot of students that, you know, they get on college campus, okay, they have these scholarships and or they're paying for school. And a lot of them were on free lunch and reduced lunch programs, and they get to college and they might not know how to manage their resources, and they're on a college campus hungry. Like, those are real issues, and I think you know, trauma, it just keeps moving it on, and it can affect if we don't address it in their adulthood, it's going to move forward, and we're you know, they could be broken adults. So exactly. I thank you for the work that you're doing, and I want to get involved in it.
You said what? You want a what, Harrison? Yeah, what? Say it loud. I got your number, and I want you at the meeting. All y'all heard him say it coming, right?
I heard him.
All right. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you, Don. Give another round of applause to Don, please. Well, yeah, before we get to questions, I'm sure a lot of people have questions about what's happening at the Holcomb School. Yes. Yeah, so we have someone that wants to come and talk a little bit about what's taking place. So, working with the developers. I don't want to pronounce Miss Williams, or Miss Williams from Anchor Team LLC Development Consultant. So if you want to come up for a little bit. Let's give her a D1 round of applause, y'all. How are you doing today? Is it Armise?
Yes, it's Armise.
Okay, good. So you want to talk to us a little bit about what's happening with the Holcomb School?
Sure. I'd just like to update on some of the new developments that are going on in Holcomb, and just update you on the process, where we are.
Okay.
So we have been working with the city to acquire the school, of course. If you're not aware, the Holcomb School is being converted into a 32-unit senior apartment cooperative.
Okay.
Yes. And we met with the city. And we met with the city just a few months ago. The whole project will be comprised of 4 phases. So the first phase is the school conversion. The second phase is right behind the school along Westbrook. There is, the second phase is the park. There's a park on the corner of Carl, and there will be a trail that's going to be a part of the Arts Loop that will run behind the school or behind the new co-op community. And that's our second phase. So there will be a bike/walk with exercise equipment, a few arts pieces along the trail, and it will end at the park with more equipment for children and adults and seniors, exercise equipment and things like that. So that will be phase 2, which is the trail in the park. Phase 3, we just proposed to the city and got a thumbs up, and that is a ranch community along Westbrook. So there will be for seniors as well, because we got such a large feedback from the senior community about housing, senior housing. So the school's being converted to senior, and then Westbrook, which would be ranch style, attached garage. Houses for families, and so there will be 2 and 3 bedroom townhome communities there. Right now, we're still in phase 1, and that is converting the school. We're looking to have all of the funding in place and permits completed by fall, and we're hoping to begin construction in November, and that will be a phase 1.
Okay. So I know you said there were 4 phases. How long do you think this project will be going on?
Well, we estimate about 18 months to 2 years per phase. Some of the phases will run simultaneously. So we're hoping over the next 3 years to have all 4 completed. But of course, when you're in development and construction, the timeline can get a little blurred sometimes, so, yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? Does everybody know where this property is located? Can you talk about the area where it's located a little bit?
So Holcomb School is on Bentler Street. So Bentler is just east. I'm sorry?
That's in my precinct.
Oh, is it? Oh, you live on Westbrook. Okay. So that's right around the block is Bentler. So Bentler is west of Gloucester. And it's about, what you would say, about the long blocks, maybe 3 long blocks from here. So 3 long blocks going north. And Holcomb was an elementary school that is being converted into these senior apartment communities.
Does anybody have questions about this particular project?
What's going to be done with the park that's facing, the open space that's facing Bentler and Thatcher, that's adjacent to Holcomb? Because I live on Thatcher, and a lot of people walk their dogs there. A lot of the deer are there. So where do you plan on, when all this construction again, where does the deer go? And better yet, who's going to clean up all that illegal dumping that's still going on right there right now? Because it's a whole lot of illegal dumping that goes on, and when you come up Bentler, as soon as you hit that park leading there, you see all the dumping going on. So who's responsible for cleaning that up? Because personally, we on Thatcher, we still have to look at that, and we don't want to look at that. And what's going to happen to that little piece of land? I mean, are people still going to be able to walk their dogs there? What's going to happen to that piece of land once you guys get done?
So I'm not quite sure which piece of land that you're referring to.
When you're on Bentler, there's Holcomb. There's a big open field where the baseball diamond used to be. That's adjacent to the school. Is that part of your?
Yes, that's a part of the development. So there will be ranches on that area. The park will be on the opposite end at Carl and Bentler. That's where the park will be. There's a trail that will go from Santa Clara through the back of Holcomb, and that will be the bike and walk trail, and it will end at Carl, and that's where the park will be. But where you're talking about the open space will be, that will be ranches there. So what happens is we're in the process of working with the land bank, because the land bank owns that property, and they're forming what's called a hold and maintenance agreement. And once we get possession of the agreement or enter into the agreement with them, we will be responsible for removing it. As of right now, it is still the land's bank responsibility for cleaning the area.
Given that the Holcomb site falls under the city's adaptive reuse ordinance, and it's a conditional use for the senior housing, has that conditional use hearing been scheduled yet so that adjacent neighbors have an opportunity to weigh in?
I was under the impression that had already happened. So
I was curious.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was under the impression that has already happened.
Okay, and I was just curious if those that do live adjacent to the Holcomb site, if they ever received notice. I was curious.
I'm not aware of that.
Okay, and then for phase 3, which I believe you said are the townhomes for seniors, or phase 4.
Yeah, phase 3 are ranches for seniors.
Okay.
So they will be all on one floor.
And then the townhomes is what I'm particularly
For family.
questioning about on Pickford Street.
Yes.
Given that would require a rezoning, is there a plan to have that land rezoned? And if so, when is that going to come to council?
Why would it be rezoned?
Because the land is zoned R1, single family residential, condos or townhomes are allowed conditionally in R2. So at the very least, you would need that rezoning to accommodate the condos.
Well, those are still townhomes. Those are still single family. It's still zoned. It's properly zoned right now. It would not have to be rezoned.
Single family. I'm a city planner. That's my 9 to 5.
Okay.
So I was going to say that the detached single family home is permissible in R1, but not condo attached. So rezoning would need to occur.
Thumbs up. So I'm assuming whatever needs to happen, they will make it happen. So we will follow up with it. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And I'll follow up with it as well. No, if there's no more questions, I just wanted to give you all an update.
That's what I was going to say. Hello, Reggie. Thank you so much, Ms. Williams. So what I was going to say on the end of that is that planning and development will be at our March monthly meeting on March 23rd. So when Reggie mentioned on the top of the meeting about all of those different developments that we have happening, that was one of those. And so they will be there to talk about that particular project. And that probably will come up as well in terms of the zoning. So that's a good question, George. Moving on to questions. All right, so we're moving on to my favorite part of our satellite hours, and that's where we get to hear from everyone in the community. So if you have any questions or concerns or something you want to share, an announcement, something great that you have happening in your block club with your group, this is the time to announce that. So Aisha said we're starting on the left and going around. You don't have anything, you can just pass the mic. Go ahead.
Bethune Community Council will be meeting on Tuesday the 19th, 6:30 at 14400 Puritan at the Mount Lebanon Strathmore Church, and everyone is invited. We are part of District 1.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. I attend community meetings very frequently. I just want to keep reintroducing myself. My name is Jacob Stonewall Webster. I recently applied for the Grand Mount Community Association to be on the board. And if there's anybody in that neighborhood, I'd love to see you at the future meetings. Hopefully, earn your vote later down the road. But then again, my name is Jacob Stonewall Webster. I'm a precinct delegate of 327. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Jacob.
Community developments, community development advocates of Detroit, CDAD, are having the District 1 office hours, and they're coming to our neighborhood Monday, March 18th from 6 to 8 at Life Challenge Ministries. That's 17667 Pearson. Also, they'll also be here again Friday, March 29th from 2 to 5 at Brightmore Artisans Collective. on Finkel, and as well, they'll have a community dinner April 2nd from 6 to 8 at Life Challenge on
And that's
Pearson.
all in our district, right?
Yes, and they're a membership organization. They work with block clubs and community organizations. They have resources. This is an opportunity to learn how to become a member. I was a member of the organization, and I think it's a great resource since we do have a lot of block clubs and neighborhood associations represented.
Definitely. Any other question over there? No. Can somebody grab the mic? At moments like this, we appreciate Aaron and miss him for running that mic around.
Hi. Once again, my name's Audrey. I'm not from the Detroit area. I'm actually originally from a suburb outside of Boston. I really just want to thank you all for letting us be a part of this, because this is really the first time that the scholars have been able to hear directly from the community. And I just wanted to say this has been an extremely humbling experience for me. I was very fortunate to come from the community I did. I didn't even know that kids had to face these issues. It's things that you see in the movies. But it's just been really amazing to sit here. I've been extremely moved by everything that you guys have said. It really just makes me want to understand the community more, and really understand these issues more. And I hope that in the work that we do, eventually we can give back to this community and really try to help out these kids, because it is astounding to me what I'm hearing from you all.
Thank you so much for that, Audrey. And so this is just maybe I'll say a tenth of some of the community get-togethers or meetings, right? Because almost everybody here is representing a separate block club or neighborhood. Is that probably about right? So thank you for saying that. And so we hope you do get a chance to come back and next. Go ahead.
All right, again, George Etheridge. First of all, shout out to MSU.
Go Blue. I've been holding that in all meeting.
Go Green.
All right.
This year I am a 2019 fellow in the MSU Michigan Political Leadership Program. So
Good.
So I could call myself an alumni from this fall. No, but in the absence of our representative, Sherry Gay Danyogo, wanted to make two announcements. March is Reading Month, and she has volunteer opportunities that are available. The first of which is coming up on this coming Monday, March 18th at 12:30. That's going to be at Cook STEM Elementary, located at 18800 Puritan. You have an opportunity to come volunteer and read to the elementary school children. So 12:30, there's light refreshments, and then from 1 until 2:30, they'll be reading. And then there's another volunteer opportunity on the 20th. This was just added, and that's going to be at Edison Elementary School, which is right there at Grand River and Rutland. Same deal, 12:30, you get there, light refreshments, reading to the elementary students from 1 until 2:30. And again, this is being sponsored by our state representative, Sherry Gay Danyogo.
Thank you.
Okay, people.
Sorry, for those of you that are interested in volunteering, don't just show up, call. The phone number to call and get listed as a volunteer is 517-373-3815. Again, that's 517-373-3815.
Okay, people. West Northwell at Tim Center have classes for people who want to write a business plan. Northwest at Tim Center is available for everybody who want to go there. Everybody. Don't matter who you are.
Thank you, Albert. Any other issues, comments, questions, concerns, announcements?
Everybody just please remember that our wonderful Redford Branch Library up the street It's open on Sundays. There's a lot of great activities that go on. One Sunday there was paint with a twist, and that was really fun.
At the library?
Yeah, Chi has a paint with a twist type of thing going on that you can create like beautiful art pieces. There's always some type of activity. We are the only West Side library to have the Sunday hours. It's at Main and I think at Wilder Branch on East 7 Mile. We're the only West Side branch to have it. So please, everybody come out every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Those are the hours that we get every Sunday for our library to be open. There's always something fun going on. Chi plans the most amazing activities, and we want to show that we do use our library and we don't want to lose those hours. So please, please, please come out. Redford Branch Library, right up the street, right across from Meyer. You can't miss it. On Sundays, there's usually something fun. I'm the unofficial spokesperson. Y'all welcome.
Thank you. Someone on this side.
Hi everyone, my name is. Okay. My name is Monica Biddle. I am from the Church of Scientology. We just opened in October downtown. And I'm similar to Audrey. I didn't grow up in Detroit. I'm from Southern California originally. And I live an hour and a half away from here, but I come down during the week and then I go home on weekends because I see the need to help. And one thing I just wanted to say, this is a little book that's been used to help uplift in many different ways. And you can go online and get one for free, and if I had more, I'd give one to all of you. But I invite you all to come down for a tour of our church. We have a lot of programs for the community that help, from this to drug prevention, drug education program, and other different things. But I really appreciate you and Dawn and Mrs. Weathersby.
Yes, Miss Weathersby.
I appreciate you and all you do to help. So, thank you.
Thank you. We're not doing it on our own.
I know. I actually was pretty small.
Mr. Thomas, he blesses us with some wisdom every meeting. I'm sorry, were you not done?
I think someone asked where we're located.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
We're on Jefferson and Griswold, right across from Hart Plaza.
So right downtown.
Yeah.
I think 2 blocks west of Woodward, right? It's not even really 2 blocks because you guys are on the corner. Yeah.
Hi everybody, my name is Jose again. I'm the coordinator for the Community Engagement Scholar Program at Michigan State. I want to give a big thanks to all the scholars that I mentor and supervise, but also we're also working with the city of Detroit. A income tax credit event at the Northwest Community Center April 4th and April 5th, right? Yeah. Don't know the times yet, but they should be up in recreational centers for those times, but we just want to give that a heads up for you all, if you do qualify for that, or if you know people who do qualify for that, because that is something that we wanted to bring awareness to, and that's one of the main concerns that why we're working with the city of Detroit, so just want to put that out there.
Thank you. So you all will be back, right? I didn't scare y'all away, right? I don't want to have to tell Councilman that I had a little run-in. But no, thank you all for coming. So we really enjoy having you here, and definitely can always learn from each other, right? Was there another question, comment, concern? Is Cav around? Cav? Is Miss George around, Alicia? Oh, she's in a meeting. But so then, I'll just take this time to say we love coming to this space. I just called this the living room yesterday when we were having a meeting. Isn't this kind of like a living room? with our little fireplace and our mantle. So I just want to thank Alicia and John George for allowing us to come here every first and third Friday of the month to come and gather and talk with you all. I hope everybody enjoyed their beverages on Councilman today. Did everybody enjoy their beverage? Good, good. And so we got Kev right here. Kev, you want to say something?
Hello.
Hello.
See, I need this kind of energy we need tonight. When we open the doors at 6 o'clock at Jazz at Jolly. It started for this community. But we want everybody to come. It's live music, food, it's love and energy. And tonight is special because it's an open jam. Ain't no telling who you going to come play here tonight. So come and share the energy with us, share the love, share the music, because it's for you. Well, it's for me because I love doing it too. But
how much is it?
Tonight, it's free 99.
Free 99?
Your love and presence is all we need to get you in the door. So we open the doors at 6 o'clock. We'll be here till about 9 with an open jam session. You're going to hear your kind of music tonight.
All right.
So come in, let's blow this off. Let's take care of business today. Let's blow this off and have some fun tonight. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you, Kev.
Thank you, Reggie.
Anybody else? Am I missing anything, guys? No. All right, so this is our third Friday in March, right? So we'll be back the first Friday in April. And so we're looking forward to it. If you guys do need us, you definitely know where to find us. You have our contact info. We have flyers out on the table. Make sure you take the save the date for the March monthly meeting. Share with your neighbors. First Friday, we are looking forward to, as you know, we do interviews, right? Did you guys enjoy the last interview? Was anybody here for the last one? It was awesome. He was really great. I kind of want to have him come back. We're trying to figure out ways that we can incorporate him. He was coming from I don't want to say this, the county more. Right, Wayne County Medical Examiner Office. Yep, he had been a homicide detective before, and really just shared a great wealth of knowledge about how he works and how his work, I think, affects the outcome of finding out how someone has passed away. Go ahead, Reggie.
First Fridays, what the councilman likes to do is we have a person who works with the city, either directly with the city or through some kind of adjunct agency, but they do a job that's maybe something that you're not familiar with. It may be a little gritty, what some people might call it dirty, or rough, or dangerous. We had a linesman who had like I think about 20,000 something votes run through him. Yeah, he was working on a line down in the island somewhere. He had he worked here locally for it wasn't DTE, it was for, and I'm forgetting the agency, but he worked here locally, but he was on loan because they had some power outages down in the islands, and somebody had done a job improperly. So he actually had so many thousands of votes run through his body as a result of that. We've had policemen here, we've had firefighters here, and they basically give us an insight into their job, their experiences, and what they go through. Because Councilman, and we feel it important that you know who these people are and you know these jobs. You pass them every day, you're up on a ladder, you're down in a manhole, they're doing some kind of job that's essential to your day-to-day life, but we want to just kind of peer into their lives for a moment and just find out what it is they do, what makes them tick, why they got into that kind of job. So for April, first Friday in April, I forgot who we got coming.
We have someone coming from the health department, Detroit Health Department, a food inspector. That might not be their official title, but they are an inspector.
And that's an important thing. I mean, we eat food every day. You hear about instances of something happening, and food was bad, food was tainted. Actually, I think Butterball had a recall of ground turkey. So look at your ground turkey.
I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, they had a recall, and somebody has to inspect all this stuff. And it goes through various channels before it gets to us. So it's very important that we know about these kind of things. And if you guys have any suggestions for future topics for our first Fridays, we'd like to hear from you, as well as for our D1 monthly meeting.
Right.
Because we generally have about 5 to 6 topics every meeting, and we have to go through a process to find those items to bring them to you. But if you guys have suggestions about things you'd like to see, we're definitely open to hearing from you, because ultimately this is about a partnership between the community and Councilman Tate's office. So we want to know what you want to see, and we want your feedback about what you have seen. So it's very important to us, and we want to keep those lines of communications open.
Thank you, Reggie. And give it up for Reggie. Reggie puts together those monthly meetings every month.
I have help.
I'm his little side.
I have lots of help. Lots of help. Thank you.
All right, so if we don't have anything else, we are going to be adjourned for today. We look forward to seeing you guys in April.
Councilman Tate will be here in April.
Yes, he will.
And that's the first Friday in April is going to be our first meeting. We appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you very much. Oh, you'll see us Saturday first. Yeah, Saturday, March 23rd at Corpus Christi, 19800 Printer. Thank you. March 23rd. March 23rd. Thank you.
I'll be volunteering. We sent enough food boxes, Pure Word this morning. I came over here. Oh, okay. Just every thing. Yeah, every Friday. I figured I better go agree with you. I'm paying the tax dollars for you. Well, they can excuse me.